ready for the most discombobulated video.
Hey guys, how are you doing? If you're watching this, I'm not here. I mean, I'm here now, but I'm not here where I'm at while you're watching this, I think. If you're watching this right when it got published, I am actually in Curacao. If everything has gone according to plan and the boat didn't sink.
The weather started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossing
to the bottom of the Caribbean and all that kind of stuff. Like I promised, I'm trying to get stay on my schedule of every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday releasing a video. So here's a video for you. So this is going to be a little bit of a story time. If you watched when we went to Disneyland, I think I mentioned that we hadn't been for a number of years. So let me explain what happened. I guess I gotta take us back to about 2011. We went to Disneyland the week before Christmas, which I would never recommend ever doing. Ever, don't do that. There was, the day we were in the park, one of the cast members told us that there were 70,000 people in the park that day. They used to max it out at 40,000 and they let 70,000 people in that day. We couldn't even move through the park. Like, you'd stop somewhere, people would I got, no joke, I got asked like 3 times. We would stop, people would start lining up behind us and people would ask me, what are you in line for? It was insane, and at that time we had a stroller and it was a mess. We went to the parade. Austin at the time was in diapers, and so we went to go take him to change his diaper, but there was a line like 25 minutes long just to change your baby's diaper. There's no such thing as a leak-proof diaper. I took off, went back to the hotel to clean him up and put him into bed, and Bree went to the city hall and said, look, this is ridiculous, we can't do anything. They said, look, free passes to Disneyland, come back, 2-day park hopper. It was awesome. So we ended up going back to Disneyland maybe 8 months later. We went back. At this time, Austin was at that age where he wanted to ride on my shoulders everywhere we went. We'd go hiking, we'd go camping, anywhere we went, he wanted to be on my shoulders. So we're back at Disneyland, and we wanted to go on one more ride before we finished our trip. I think that night we were going to finish the trip, go back to Las Vegas, where Bree's family's from, stay with her sister overnight, and then drive back up to Utah the next morning. So we wanted to go on one more ride. We decided to go on Space Mountain. Before we go into line, I think the line was like 30 minutes long. Before we got in the line, I asked Austin, like I always do you need to go to the bathroom? No, don't need to go to the bathroom. So he said he didn't have to go, and so we went and got in line for Space Mountain. Now, if you've been on Space Mountain before at Disneyland in California, you know you kind of go up a ramp, you go up another ramp around, and then there's like, you're almost on the roof of a building, and there's just chains going back and forth. So we get up there and we're in line. It was about 7 o'clock, it was starting to get dark. Just that time of night, you know, when it's like, it's not quite dark, but it's not quite bright, and you can't see anything. So we're in these lines, and Austin looks up to me, he's like, I've got to pee. Listen, buddy, we're in the middle of this line, can you hold it? No, Dad, I can't hold it, I gotta pee, I gotta go, let's go. So I look at Bree, and she's sitting there with my daughter Madeline, and I'm like, all right, you guys stay here, I'm gonna take Austin, and we're going to go to the bathroom. I step over the chains, put my butt on my shoulders, and I just start walking parallel with the line. You know, they're coming this way, I'm going that way, just walking with him straight out. And it was that time, it's hard to explain, it's hard to see. I'm holding on to his legs, he's on my shoulders, and I'm walking, and all of a sudden I just hit something, just bam, just like that. I'm like, what did I just hit? But as I'm going, Austin, because the weight is on my back and I'm doubled over, something's holding me back at the stomach, he just goes falling face first from my shoulders, just right onto the cement, just bam, just flat out hit on the side of his face. Didn't hit here, just right there. I look down and there's a chain right in front of me I didn't see, and I'm looking down at my son thinking, I just killed my son. Like, what the heck just happened? And he's not moving. And I have never been so scared in my entire life. it freaked me out. I hop over, I'm like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Miracle of miracles, right there in line, right across the chain from where this happened, there's a firefighter EMT, that was his job, and another lady, I think she was some sort of nurse, and they are just like on top of it. Like they jump over, they turn him over, they're like looking at his eyes, he's not really talking, his eyes are closed, he's just like kind of making this noise, and I'm freaked out, like I just gave him brain damage, I don't know what happened. I've got to tell Bree, where is she, what's going on? I run back, I'm just yelling her name, people are turning around like, what is going on? Like, why is this crazy guy running yelling? I'm like, Bree, like, where are you? Why can't you hear me? Finally, she comes around, comes up here, and comes up to me, and we're just like freaked out because Austin was just kind of like freaking, like not really awake, but not really knocked out. Just there was no cuts on his face. I don't know how it happened. He had on a little Jack Skellington hoodie, and it must have at least protected his face from hitting the cement right on. And I have never felt so bad in my entire life. It's like fail as a father. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like 3 or 4 Disney employees come up. They've got their walkie-talkies. They're talking. Hey, we got this. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody from that point, like I don't know, 10 yards up back. Okay, you're out. Shut down the ride. You guys turn around. Get off. Get out of this line. You guys are out. They shut it down. Like kicked all those people out of line. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Right when this happens, Madeline is like, I've got to go to the bathroom. I've got to go number 2, Mom, I've got to go. And at that time she was like 7. And so Bree's like, Maddie, you can't go, I'm sorry you can't. And there's this, I don't know who she is. If she sees this, thank you. She's some nice, wonderful lady is like, I will take her. Okay, so she takes Madeline, goes out. Bree called her sister who was in the park. At that time, her sister comes running over, but they wouldn't let her up because they shut the ride down. She kicked all these people out. They closed down Space Mountain because of this. They get a bunch of paramedics running up. They put the neck brace on him. They put him in the thing. They get him all secured down so he doesn't move around because they don't know if he has a head injury or a neck injury. Shut down the ride. They get us. Finally, they're bringing us to the ambulance, and they're like, one of you can ride. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go with them. We went down, and there's just all these people, just like, what's going on? Like, what happened at the top of this ride? And we're just, I'm just beside myself, like, with guilt, just, what, like, it was horrible. So Bree, they whisk her off. I go out some back entrance. You don't even know it's there until these, it's like magic. It's the Magic Kingdom. These doors just open up, and they get us into this ambulance. Madeline went with her aunt. They get Bree in with another Disney guy and to bring her to the hospital. And I go to the hospital, and we're just sitting there like, what the crap just happened? Like, oh my gosh. So they do a bunch of CAT scans. Everything was fine. He just got a little concussed. He got a concussion. But if you know anything about concussions, after you have a concussion, they don't necessarily want you to go to sleep. But by the time they had run him through all of these tests and pretty much okayed him, it was like 11 o'clock at night. And we're like, well, we can't, we're checked out of our hotel. What do we do here? And so they're like, well, try not to let him go to sleep. And we're like, well, it's 11 o'clock and he's 3 years old. What do we do? And we're like, well, you just need to monitor him for the next however many hours. So we're like, okay. So we load him up in the car. At that time, Bree's sister had already taken Madeline. They already left to go to Las Vegas. So we decided to just, let's just drive to Las Vegas. At least then we've got like 4 hours from California to Las Vegas where we can just watch Austin, make sure he was okay. So we got to Las Vegas at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, slept for a few hours, and then just drove the rest of the 6 hours or whatever back home. So at the end of the day, Austin was fine, just got a little concussion. We got freaked out. We closed down Space Mountain. I'm sorry if you were there that day and you weren't able to ride it. I don't know, back in 2012-ish, sometime around there. That was the time that we closed down Space Mountain and left Disneyland on an ambulance. So that is why we have not been back to Disneyland since. It really Bree really did not feel comfortable with it, and I just kept explaining like it was an accident, like we can go back to Disneyland, but she just had those bad feelings for so long until this last time when we went. It took her like 4 years before we were able to take that trip again. So that's the story, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sticking around for this story and for sticking around this week while we're gone. I am sharing pictures on Twitter. If you're not following me, at Chadusan, I'm going to be throwing up a couple pictures there. I don't overtweet, you know, every once in a while I'll throw out a picture or whatever, but if you want to follow me, that's where it is. Go do that. And next week we will be back, but I will be uploading the videos from the cruise. I am excited. It's the Carnival Vista. It's like their brand new ship. Should be super, super awesome. You know, we just got to get out of this frozen wasteland of snow and nasty inversion and all that. So we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and catch you next time, guys. See ya.